Greetings, geeks. Welcome back to Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Maldo. It's been a long time, but we're here with Rob Roseboom.
Hello.
And Chris DeBona.
Hi.
Gentlemen, I missed you.
I missed you too.
There
are a lot of things going on.
Imagine what war would look like if we went off for 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I have a theory.
Are we responsible for that?
No.
Responsibility is hard. I'm not sure it's causal.
Well, so a story that's coming up is the crash of the 2 black helicopters at Snowbird.
Yeah.
I think that kicked it off because it was last Monday.
Yeah.
They launched the invasion like shortly thereafter, and I think it was because we showed them that we were incompetent boobs.
Oh,
when it comes to doing things. Yeah.
So I got the message. So you shared that link into the channel, and I got the notification on my watch, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is it." Because I only got like the first 6 words, and it was like Blackhawk crash. And I was like, "Oh no."
For those of you on the podcast or who don't watch regularly, I dislocated my shoulder 4 weeks ago, and so the guys are always expecting me to say, "Oh, I crashed and broke a leg."
But usually when a Blackhawk crashes, it means international incident.
Not
hurt skiers.
Well, here's the thing, So here, let me go to the pictures.
Oh, we got photos.
Okay. So I skied by there yesterday, and so this is a far away view from up the mountain a little bit. So here's the Mineral Basin Express lift. Okay, this over here on the left. Oh my gosh, it's going to show you my. I have terrible bandwidth. I apologize.
Yeah, you're next level.
Oh,
did the Blackhawk hit the wire? Knock down the internet?
Well, you laughed. So they came in from behind where they're sitting there. So that one is so there's one here next to the tree, and then if you go left a bit, you'll see the second one. So as they came in flying in formation, they were too close. They were tailgating basically. And it came in and it lost visibility because it was blowing snow up, and it hit the ground, and it's the front helicopter's main rotor fell off, broke into pieces. You can see some of the pieces in this photo and in this photo.
Nope. Goodbye,
here,
photo.
and then in the back left,
we just lost you.
It should come back.
I'm excited.
So yeah, I'm frustrated.
Welcome to my world.
Technology doesn't work anymore.
This is rough. So then, bong. It's one of its rotor blades came apart and hit the other one, causing it to flip over and fall down. So
that's
you can
a scary
see the back
picture.
left there, the one that came down upside down. So. And then they had these 2 guys looking after it, and to their credit, they were helping people take selfies in front of the helicopter.
Oh yeah, well that's worth it.
Yeah. But this is 150 feet from the lift. It could have very easily gone another way, where they took out the lift and the lift cable and sent 500 people to their death.
Well,
9:30 a.m. The ski resort was open, the busiest day of the year, at one of the largest ski resorts in the Mountain West.
That's terrifying.
The fuck?
Can you imagine being the person sitting on the lift just watching that?
Well, I'm sure there's lots of photos.
That's true. I bet the YouTuber is filled with a bunch of them.
Oh, there's so many YouTube videos and pictures.
But there's a lot less Russian stuff on YouTube these days. It's weird.
Oh, heck, go figure. It's funny how it's changed comments.
Have you noticed less garbage on Twitter? Weird.
Yeah, go figure.
It's nuts. It's nuts. It's like back when we used to, when we'd find like a new Tor exit node and ban a Tor exit node, and for like 3 days, all the forums would be, all the comments would just be clean. Oh, so lovely.
Well, it's funny because it said, "Hey, we're going to leave Interpol. That the era of cooperation is over," and it's like, when did you cooperate? Like all the malware, all the Russian business network bullshit.
Hey, pop up the D&D Wordle.
Okay, here we go.
This
Let's
is
see
the
if it'll-
dumbest thing,
it'll let
but
me.
I've been
No,
saving
I
it for
thought it was
Rob.
cute.
I've been saying it's not as good as I wanted it to be. But basically it's Wordle, but you guess attributes, you guess, the skill points, and eventually you get all of the skill points locked in. And then you can, I think it tells you what creature it is that has these skill points.
Oh, 10 intelligence. It's not a brilliant.
You're gonna want a strength higher than 1, probably.
Well, I'm trying to do this thing. The Wordle thing.
Are you guys still playing your Wordles?
Oh yeah.
I
I forgot
don't play
something.
Wordle.
I had my streak get busted like last week, and I was so mad.
Oh, your streak. Oh, that's
Yeah, I don't even remember what the word was. The other one that was funny was like last week, the word was trove.
Yeah, I remember that. I thought about you.
So all of so somebody posted on our old Trove Facebook group. They posted that we should all play that word today. So I got it on the first guess, which completely threw off because
Wow.
I've only got it on my first guess legitimately with that one time, but that's cheating.
That's really funny. All right, I'm just gonna play this. You guys keep on talking.
Well, I want to see how long it takes for Rob to guess what monster this is. Although I'm not exactly sure which edition of the D&D monster manual it is.
I don't play Wordle. I have no idea what's happening now.
No, so these are the attributes of a monster in the monster manual.
Yeah,
I'd say
got
it's
it.
Eye of the Beholder.
It's not a beholder. Beholders are way smarter than that.
Are they way smarter than that? Okay, so an orc or something. So this is a pretty strong dude.
Yeah, this is a toughie.
And is this 5th ed or is this 4th ed or 3rd ed?
I wasn't sure which monster manual
no,
it was.
no one knows.
I just thought it was funny because Wordle is everything, and this is not a good way to do a Dungeons and Dragons Wordle, but it is just funny that somebody built a Wordle out of the monster manual. That 28 is way too high, my friend.
You say that, but
I don't think anything.
It'd be like a bird or an owl or something.
That's a lot of dexterity, man.
What am I missing here? I'm missing something.
Oh,
well, the thing is also, if this is like the other Wordle, you can have things twice.
Yep.
And
I played through this a couple of times, and basically you just kind of run a spread between like 11 and 16, and that gets you, a bunch of yellows, and then you can shuffle it around.
Well, unless it's, like a very high-end monster, you're not going to have any score probably over 18.
Right.
Okay.
It's not a god.
Most stuff is going to be like...
I didn't get it.
What was it? It was a
werebear.
werebear.
Yeah. See,
here's your choice of monsters. Not that you could see it because my bandwidth is terrible.
It's pretty rough. Anyway, Rob, you should try it legit on your own a couple of times and just see how that works out. Because I found that, I thought of you, and I wish the game was better because you deserve better. But
Yeah.
Thank you.
John Williams is going to compose the Obi-Wan Kenobi theme, which I guess he also composed the Solo theme.
Oh.
With a different, they have a different person write the score, but they just get him to write the themes. Which seems like if you're a composer, that's got to be like the best thing to do, right? Like you just come in, you write us 8 bars, you're done.
It wasn't him, it was Hans Zimmer. So Hans Zimmer has a whole operation.
Yeah, he's got 250 some employees.
Yeah, so they approached the game. They're like, we can do your game, video, music, and we're like, we can't afford you.
Yeah, right. You are our whole budget.
Right, dude.
Yeah. That whole Vanity Fair thing, was that where it was? The story about that industry, the soundtrack industry, is interesting.
Yeah, no, it's I know it's the Hollywood Reporter and Vanity Fair, they give us so many articles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're one of the few that are actually writing original things and not just linking to other people's stuff.
Oh yeah.
But yep, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show comes out May 26th, I think. I don't have high hopes,
Yeah,
but you know.
I don't know. I mean, after the wonderful success that was Mandalorian and the other problem that was Boba Fett.
The Boba Fett mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gonna be fine.
Well, maybe they'll do better. The
Well-
Mandalorian bits of the Boba Fett were
Were
still
good.
fine. Yeah, they were great.
It's true. Have you watched any, or have you read any of the stuff about the Star Wars Hotel?
Oh, it's been hilarious.
Yeah.
First of all, $6,000 for 2 nights is
Yeah.
a very
Wow.
large amount of money.
Yes, and those are little
Right.
tiny rooms. And
It's,
all of the upcharges, like everything is like $100 for this, $100 for that, $100 for this. Like it's easily, you know, it's easily beyond the $6,000. It's easily a couple grand more once you start, you know, buying snacks and they take you to Disneyland and stuff.
Well, you know,
you
once
get like the
Disney-
VIP tour of Disneyland as part of it, or is it?
You
once
get a shortcut.
Disney, once Disney buys up all the spare land around where you live and converts it into their own, you know, little
Utopia.
village,
Well,
you don't have to worry about that.
after watching, I watched season 1 of Righteous Gemstones, and then right before that, I watched The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
Mhm.
So, and both of those have like large compounds of land, and like they built that PTL like residence or
sure.
whatever. I mean that stuff's it's realer
Like-
than I think.
Like they don't give him enough credit. I think he
Who, Disney?
absolutely no
Jim
Jim
Baker.
Baker. He absolutely revolutionized how that works by renting that satellite, by
Yeah.
having his own satellite. Like he crushed everybody
Yep.
by many orders of magnitude. He really figured out how to spread the word, so to speak, and collect donations.
Yep.
Yeah.
He optimized that business.
Mhm.
He's still out there blaming, you know,
He
Wow.
is. He's
gay
He's-
people for Ukraine or something.
his new shtick is crazy. It's all survivalist stuff. So he sells
Oh,
buckets of food, and you can get buckets of Bibles that you can hide. that you
well,
can
thank
bury.
goodness, because there's
so
not
that-
very many Bibles out there, right?
Well, yes, after the apocalypse, people are going to need to know about the word. So they have buckets of Bibles that you can bury and hide for people to find, so that their souls can be nourished as well after the apocalypse.
I think that
Wow.
in the Planet of the Apes future, the idea of the apes digging up the bucket of Bibles. This
Oh,
makes sense.
Also, they sell toilet seat mods for the buckets once you empty them of Bibles, which seems sacrilegious to me. But
Well, if you leave the Bible in there, sure.
yeah,
Gross. So the dad there's a
Does
story
Jim
here.
Baker have his own cryptocurrency?
Ooh.
you know, I don't think he does, but I think that might just be because no one suggested it to him yet.
Well, you have to assume his target audience is like in their 70s at this point.
So, but one of my guilty pleasures was back in the day, you could go to Funny or Die, and they had a send up of a bunch of his sermons, and they were fantastic. But
Yeah.
during whatever shakeup happened there, a bunch of that content got lost or gone. So
it's the internet, man.
yeah.
It's everything's permanent except for the things you want to be permanent. There was a story that I didn't put up, but Russia had already written a victory press release, basically.
Yeah.
And they had it on one of their sites, but they hadn't actually like shared it yet. But the Wayback Machine got it, and then they took it down.
The little snippets of video coming out of there by citizens is fantastic. The dude on the road offering to tow the tanks that ran out of
Yeah.
fuel back to Russia to the soldiers is great. If you haven't seen it,
Yep.
even the Russian soldiers laugh about it. The bit they had on John Oliver, the old woman who wanted to hand them all sunflower seeds
Yeah.
so that when they died, their corpse could make flowers. Holy cow, man.
Extraordinary.
Yeah.
I liked did you see the
I hope
dude
they
with
make
the
a good one,
cigarette
yeah.
hanging out of his mouth carrying the landmine?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's like,
Whatever. I'm Ukrainian. Maybe
a
he's
friend of mine
Ukrainian.
had a really good idea. You know, you could make a mock-up of the landmines out of a couple of 5-gallon buckets. and in like a bowl and paint it camo and stuff.
There was a whole Reddit thread about that, ways to mess with
And just
tanks.
litter them throughout the country and
Yeah.
freak the Russians out.
Only one in 1,000 needs to be real.
Jim Baker expanding his bucket empire now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
He should just paint the lids to look like landmines.
Well, what's weird is how the far right became like quislings for Putin. It's like, what the hell's wrong with you
It
people?
seems like in the last 24 hours they've backed back on that.
Oh
It's-
yeah,
for
no,
the first day.
No, we were never for Putin.
Oh.
That's crazy.
We were always at war with Eurasia.
We're always at war with Eurasia.
So there's a story here about a dad taking down his entire town's internet to get his kids
Yeah.
offline. He bought a signal jammer.
Oh no.
Yeah. So when my kids are naughty, I can block them at the router, or I just unplug the router. It has never occurred to me at any point in time to run a signal jammer and take out, like
The
a square
internet.
mile.
So I guess it was, everyone was using their phones or something, right? So he just
Mhm.
jammed the. Yeah, because you can buy those on AliExpress.
Yeah,
Those,
they're not crazy expensive.
Yeah, like $100.
They're crazy illegal.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't run them.
Yeah,
It's a bad idea.
that's right.
Did
We
he
don't
get in
recommend it.
trouble?
Yeah.
I'm trying to load the.
Yeah, he got in trouble.
This reminds me of the story we did a while ago about the old people in the English town who had some sort of crazy
one-
setup with their TV. So every time they turned on their TV, everyone lost their TV in town.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
tried to figure out what was going on for like a year. They couldn't
Yeah.
figure it out until this
And they
guy's
found
like,
out it was Oprah. You
Yeah.
know?
Every time they
Oh,
turn on their
no.
TV, it's just Max Headroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, the prosecutors seized the device. He was in France too. It's a 6 months in jail penalty, 30,000 euro fine.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's serious.
Mm.
So, Chris, can you load the Portland artisanal Bitcoin?
Well, we can try.
This just tickled me because, like, the dudes with the beards, they're mining Bitcoin by hand using slide rules and graph paper, and it's written exactly like how you would want.
I mean, it's obviously a joke, but this is very fun.
Like you see, like how long it would take for like a Commodore 64 or something to mine one Bitcoin, and it's like years or whatever. I'd love to see somebody do it artisanally. Anyway, I just like that they got the dude with the beard, and he's out there with his slide rule and big sheets of paper.
It's a very wholesome joke. Thank you, Rob. That's
Yes.
what we need today.
Well, to be fair, I posted it before the world went to hell.
Well, it's worth pointing out during World War II, Oregon hastily changed their state constitution to not be a white paradise, and they were the largest suppliers of Americans that would go and work for the Germans and would be volunteer for the German army during World War II. So Oregon's where they came from, more than any other state.
So apparently we spotted a Chinese satellite that just went up and grabbed and discarded another satellite. So that's fine.
Yeah, so I love this story because they're like, oh, we're just being tidy. We would never use this against Elon Musk's satellites. Or it's like, it was very pointed.
Well, this is weirdly timely, right? Because we're seeing one of the widest little bits of internet warfare. I mean, it's not just information warfare. We're seeing things get hacked, right? Like we've seen factories go down.
I thought you were going to say because of the new season of Space Force.
They didn't do that this season, at least. They didn't catch a satellite. Did you finish the new season, Rob?
I did.
I did too.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I adore John Malkovich. He's remarkable.
Yeah.
He's still
I
good.
love John Malkovich. His character's great in it yet.
You know the sequence that I did really enjoy? I did like the scene where they had Patton Oswalt, who's stuck in the mission to Mars spaceship, and he's just like asking the daughter to eat because he hasn't eaten food. He's like, could you get some Cheez-Its? Could you just open a soda can right in front of the microphone so I can hear the pop?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
But it wasn't good.
That
is what
show's
you were
not
saying on
good.
channel?
No,
It's not good.
it's hopefully this is the end.
Yeah, it was better than last season, I would argue. But that's not saying a lot. But this space satellite thing, I just thought was interesting because, like, again, this was posted before the world went to hell. And you're like, well, so like now we're seeing all these weird internet hacks as part of this war. But you know, when it's a real space power, it's going to be this. What's the old E2 node? Our upcoming war with China.
Yeah.
Rob, I shared the Hank the Tank story for you. Isn't this kind of your thing?
Thanks. Yeah. So they were, this Hank the Tank has been breaking into homes, eating a remarkable amount of food, even for a 500-pound bear. And then it turns out it's because Hank the Tank is actually 3 bears.
Oh,
there are three bears in a trench coat.
Yeah, there are 3 bears this size that are breaking into all these homes in Tahoe. And so there you go.
I mean,
they found a place to go.
I love bears. I love the thing. I don't care about these people.
I just like the idea that there's like a bear syndicate.
Oh, I thought those were the other 2 bears.
No, those were humans.
It's just, I'm gonna go back to the main screen. Here's the thing. I love the thing that the parks and the Forest Service that does around Fat Bear Week. These bears are gonna hibernate like champs. They've got all that good Tahoe food in them. It's very wholesome. I love Hank the Tank.
So let's see. The next one cracks me up. Somebody did a paper on how many awkward toilet encounters would be created by the final snap at the end of Avengers Endgame. How many toilets would be occupied? How many people would then snap on with like a person when the snap occurs is it on the same toilet? And then there's a page with a whole lot of math. And they have the odds. It's like 1 in 10 to the negative 30,892. There's lots of big numbers.
So did the author split up number 1 and number 2?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because crossing the stream is not a big deal. It's like, oh my gosh, Bob's back. But like if you're in the middle of a longer session on the throne.
But if you're a sit pier versus a stand pier.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Ooh, yeah. That'd be really awkward.
Yeah.
Well, and then this is assuming that Tony Stark didn't thoughtfully, process all the people coming in, right? So
it'd have to be the Hulk, right? Hulk brought everybody back. Tony just ended it. But they have things like,
oh, that's right.
Yeah, the paper has things like what percentage of people have access to toilets, and like they're trying to work all these variables in. It's just
what's really awkward are people who are over a squat toilet.
Yep.
And then suddenly they've got somebody that they can't support, sitting on them.
Yeah, Magnum's right.
So they fall back.
Stadium bathrooms. Think about the long troughs.
Oh yeah. So they get really crowded and everyone's like, "Hey, buddy, leave me alone. Hey, it's Tom."
Yep. Anyway, that story just tickled me. Indiana Jones 5 filming has wrapped. I'm sure that's going to be great.
I mean, the last one was so good.
Come on, just
what was it? The one with Sean Connery.
No, yeah, that's right.
Raiders of the Lost Ark was a fine movie.
Yep.
Yes.
And then they made one with Sean Connery that's okay.
I like that one.
You can get through.
I thought Last Crusade was all right, but the Temple of Doom was hard. That rewatch was tough.
See, that's just straight nostalgia candy for me, but I fully acknowledge that movie's a hot mess.
And I don't know that I've ever not fallen asleep or wandered away during Crystal Skull, to be honest with you. I know I've seen the beginning and the end, but I can't tell you what happens in the middle.
Do you remember the part where he Tarzan yells while swinging through the jungle?
Yeah, that was classic.
No.
Well, consider yourself lucky.
I remember the aliens.
Raiders?
I remember the Raiders the aliens at the end, and of course, the ridiculous chase scene at the beginning, culminating with hiding in the refrigerator during a nuclear explosion.
Yep. This all checks out.
Good. Let's move on.
That's right.
Well, do you know when that's coming out? Because you guys are gonna have to go see it or something.
Well, I'll see it, but I don't know if
We'll
I'll.
take that forward.
I don't know if I'll see it in the theater. We'll have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
Although the Batman opens this weekend.
Yeah, I ain't seen that either.
I'd like to, but we'll see how it works out schedule-wise. The Universe Splitter is very cool. It's an app that connects to some quantum doohickey, I'm sure. And you're supposed to make a decision based on the results of the Universe Splitter. And the idea is that it's getting the results based on a quantum detection. So in half of all universes, you'll get the one answer, and the other half you'll get the other. And so you can fork the universe.
Huh. All right.
Okay.
It's hot nonsense.
Yeah, this is dumb.
Yep.
But okay.
$1.99 though.
You know? Well, I mean, these things are probably like $1,000.
Well, it's $1.99 just for the app. I don't need to do any sort of quantum math myself.
Well, here, buy online. Let's see how much one of these quantum pseudo-random number generators costs. Yeah, so about 1,400 euros. So you would have to sell a number of 70 plus 30%, call it 2,000 copies of his app, to pay for it. So okay.
Good for that guy. I just think it's funny. It's a coin tosser, but with a quantum sense of humor.
Yeah, I think that's very clever.
So do you remember a few weeks ago the teenager who was tracking Elon Musk's jet and
Indeed.
Musk offered to pay him off? He modified it to track Russian oligarchs.
I think this is fantastic.
Yeah, good for this kid. Although I have to say the probability of something mysterious happening to him when it was just Elon Musk seems a lot smaller than now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's interesting. So now you can follow a Twitter handle. I thought it was funny, Chris, because I read the story. I clicked through to read the Twitter, look at the Twitter feed, and guess who Twitter told me was already following it?
Who?
It was you.
Oh, it was me. Yeah, this guy's doing a hell of a service. First of all, I mean,
yeah, when Musk shows up in his electric truck and flamethrower to take you down, like that's easy to spot. Right, but the oligarchs probably have people who are more subtle. So
yeah,
pretty funny though.
Good stuff. So
yep.
I never watched the Morbius trailer yet. Have either of you actually watched it?
I haven't watched this particular one. No.
Oh, the Mobius trailer.
The new one.
So I'm not going to play it because of my bandwidth problems.
Well, and also because when we played the Jurassic Park trailer like 5 episodes ago, we got content blocked for it.
Oh, really?
And for like 11 seconds. Thanks, Universal.
I'm sure they found your favorite.
No, they didn't. That's the first time that I've ever filed a request and have it be denied.
Can you push back?
What do I do? Click the button again?
I don't know. Maybe until you get tired.
I don't care.
Yeah. The problem with this trailer is there's not much to it. It's a bunch of blurry CGI shots of Jared Leto going all freaky on people and flying. I mean, there's one scene of him flying in front of a subway it's pretty laughable, to be frank.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you think, Mr. Zen, Mr. Rosen?
I haven't watched this trailer. I've watched the other ones.
There's nothing new in this one, except for I guess it comes out tomorrow or something. No.
The movie does?
I thought it was a couple weeks.
Yeah, it comes out really soon.
They've got to have a few weekends break between this and the Batman, right?
The Batman. Is the Batman this weekend?
I think so.
Yeah, when is Mobius now?
I think it's later, like 2 or 3 weeks. It might even be like into April.
Yeah.
April 1st.
Interesting that it comes out on April Fool's Day.
Ha.
I don't know. People really liked Venom. And it was okay, but I didn't like it that much.
No,
I
hated
like
Venom.
that.
I think between the 2 Venom movies, there's one movie worth of entertainment.
Maybe.
That's pretty generous, but okay.
I hated in the second one what they did to Carnage.
Yeah.
Like that character resembles nothing about the comic book character Carnage. Like his symbiote can somehow hook up to technology,
Sure.
and like he's R2D2. He just sends a tentacle out into the computer, and now that's not what Carnage does. That's not how that works.
That's not fun. That's not good.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's the other thing.
The opposite of fun.
Yeah.
It's weird to me, like, and maybe it'll do good. Venom made a lot of money, but I don't know. I just can't get excited for it. I'll probably go see it, but only because I got a lot of spare time on my hands, and I like comic book movies.
Well, have you considered using that spare time to serve our fine four-legged friends?
I did, but
Yeah.
I am, as you might be remembering, I am handicapped in this manner. The story.
That's why this is the perfect job for you.
That's true.
It is. It is.
They didn't ask you if you could smell.
That's
They
true.
just are asking you to fill out the paperwork. and let them
Remember
know
the
what you think.
story? Remember the story about the vegetarian cat rescue that I told you all
Yeah.
about? These people are the same people, probably.
Probably.
They're trying to make a plant-based diet for carnivores. It's like, I hope the carnivores rise up and attack you.
So yeah, I
That
guess
sounds terrible, And I'm not a big dog guy. I like cats,
yeah.
but this just seems like animal cruelty.
So I
Well-
would smell my cat's poop every day for 2 months for $6,000, but I have no sense of smell, and this would
Right.
just be I fine. My wife would actually probably be happy with that because it probably means I'm cleaning the litter boxes.
Well, wolves tend to be less strictly carnivorous than cats for the most part.
Sure.
They will eat some berries and stuff like that, and they tend to eat more, like gut
Salad.
contents from ruminants when they bring them down. So they will eat some of that plant material.
Yeah.
So at least dogs are a little bit better able to process vegetarian
Sure.
food, quote unquote, than cats.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still not it is not ideal.
Magnum says he's fostering 6 cats on Thursday.
Wow.
I have 4.
Random,
and
you're a
that's too
hero.
many. I have a sneaking
for you.
suspicion that the 6 cats he's fostering weigh less than my fat cat.
Yeah, unless he's gone full Carol Baskin on it, in which
Mm.
case we should probably have a talk.
Yep. That's
Not a
right.
good idea.
He's not going to get his own Netflix spinoff. What is After Yang?
This
Ugh.
actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It's
I
either
think-
going to be good or it's going to be so ponderous and pretentious it's not going to be worth it.
That is absolutely the case.
Yeah.
It's either going to be so sappy that it's terrible, but I have high hopes. It looks like it's basically like, from what I can tell, it's like Old Yeller, basically, but
Yeah.
with a robot.
but with a robot. Yeah. So, yes. Again, I can't really play with any sort of confidence, but
It
You
looks
know,
sort of
it's,
like an Alex Garland kind of thing.
it's very Alex Garlandy. Yeah. So for sure.
Well, here's hoping.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably watch it.
I'll
Oh, speaking
definitely.
of things I watched Station 11. Have you guys watched that?
No, you're the only person I know who's ever mentioned it.
It's compelling.
Hmm.
I won't say it's good. I won't say it's bad. And parts of it are really good. But I admit I'm watching it going, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. So the premise is that all but 1/1000th of the population has died of this massive plague. And it tells the story of a hardy group of Shakespearean performers and their musicians going around, not kidding, Lake Michigan on a yearly basis, performing to the little towns around Lake Michigan. So there you go.
What's the name of the Michigan Shakespeare Festival, Rob? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think it's called the Michigan Shakespeare Festival.
Oh, okay, that's a hell of a name.
I think you're making that up.
Anyway, it's very well acted. It's the story, the dialogue. I mean, the characters are remarkable. but I get stuck thinking, so they're going to spend the rest of civilization performing in a circus sort of manner for with 300,000 people left in America.
Yep.
If you're the
And
last
how many of
one,
those people are going to be in Michigan?
In the
I'm
end,
just like,
and then all that's left is burlesque performers and carnies.
yeah,
They're the ones who made it.
it's true.
Especially in Oregon. Anyway.
Which of you guys had the story about the BYU student who tried to make rocket fuel?
I posted that.
Yeah, that sounds like a Rob story.
I love this kid. Reminds me of like, not when I was his age, I wouldn't do stupid shit like this. But when I was younger, very much younger, when my parents would go out grocery shopping, me being a Gen Xer, as I'm sure you can relate, we're left at home alone at like age 6
with a lot of styrofoam and gasoline.
Right? And I would go and I would mix chemicals in the garage and to have science experiments before my parents came home, just because I was that kid. That was I mentioned in the podcast before how I learned about green dragon breath when I decided to mix bleach and ammonia because I was told never to, and I needed to know why. And I found out in a hurry.
That shit'll ruin your lungs real fast.
It burned very bad, and I was still sort of coughing, and my eyes were red yet, and my parents got home, and my dad's like, "What is wrong?" I'm like, "Just go in the garage. Just go in the garage. You'll see."
I'm beta testing for the Russian army.
Yeah.
So the sprinklers went off, and so they have these 3 photos of wet dorm room, and in the middle of this bottom one is a toilet seat.
Toilet. Yeah.
That's a good dorm
I'm like,
room.
what is going on here?
I hope it's not connected.
Was that pulled out by the fire guys? Or is this like another thing from that paper about pre-blip dumping?
That's absolutely one of their seats around because they think it's funny.
Yep.
When I lived with Chris, when I lived with Hammer, we found while we're driving around downtown one time, we found a whole like line of old school hair dryer seats from a salon that was so we picked it up. We were going to bring them to the house and have them for seating in the apartment, but it turns out those things weigh like 400 pounds a piece. So we couldn't really get them in the minivan. Yeah.
In Kat's first apartment, she had a segment of movie theater chairs, but like the old ones from like the Michigan theater or the Holland theater when they renovated it. And they're very uncomfortable. You would not want to sit in them.
But they smell bad, but that's good for you.
That's fine with me. I smelled them every day for 6 weeks and got $6,000. So Facebook employees are called Metamates now.
Yeah. We should be pod buddies.
Ooh.
No,
buddies?
pod pals.
Pod pals.
Pod pals.
Pod pals.
Greetings, pod pals. I always found it weirdly offensive in some weird way when you get hired. And I remember when my first job, everybody was an associate. That was the title given to all employees, associate. And it always seemed really weird to me.
Yeah.
You just can't call somebody an employee?
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
But they could have probably done better than Metamates.
Yeah.
Oh.
It sounds like meat, meat mates.
Meat mates?
Butchers, butchers of democracy. A lot of things you do.
Anything you can do to make your conglomerate seem more organic.
They should relocate to Portland, only use slide rules.
That's true. Just get all their highly paid executives out there with those giant sheets of grids of graph paper. What if we farm just 1 Bitcoin every few hours? Of course, this is the irony of all this is that if Google or Facebook or Amazon just decided to farm Bitcoin with their entire resources, you can't tell me they couldn't hit a 50% on one of those networks.
I mean, probably, but remember the ant miners that these people are using are pretty efficient. It's all the energy is going towards the computation, nothing towards anything else.
I don't know that I believe that that's true, given the fact that nobody on Earth can buy a GPU for less than $2,800. They're buying our frickin' 3080s.
True.
We've got a couple left, but I'm actually kind of excited that there's going to be another Chris Pine Kelvin universe Star Trek.
It could be all right.
There's a part of me that just is like, maybe y'all learned.
They're good actors.
Maybe y'all learned.
No, I mean, the
They're
production qualities were
they're-
very hot.
They're decent
good
actors. They're just like it. I hate these movies.
Yeah.
They have
It's
nothing to do with the spirit of Star Trek. They're just
Yeah.
the first one is just literally them hanging off of things, and then the second one is them literally just hanging off of things, and it's just
The third one has
Third one, they
motorcycles.
drove around things.
yeah.
No.
Yeah. The only part of any of these movies that I will reluctantly say that I like is in the last one where they play the Beastie Boys for whatever reason, and that destroys all the navigation system of those other little spaceships. It is so stupid
It's
that
so
I love
dumb.
it. It's so dumb that I love how dumb it is.
It's super dumb.
Sign
Yeah.
me up. I don't know. I
It
like
may
the
even be
production.
dumbest.
I like the production design. I like the performances.
Yeah.
I agree with 100%. These are not as Star Trek-y as I would like, but I'm still watching Discovery, and that's not Star Trek-y anymore. That's just a show about people crying for 40 minutes, and then the episode ends.
And light betrayal that can be forgiven. That seems to be a very common theme
Yep.
in the new Star Trek.
Well, that maybe they were just ahead of their time. I mean, we had a president who was fairly treasonous, and there's a pretty dang good chance that he's going to get reelected.
It is very late. Like,
I think the last one that I had on the list was I think this is one of Rob's, the brain scan.
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting story because they didn't set out to do it. They were just doing these brain studies of this guy who happened to be dying while they were doing it and died during the process. So for the first time, they actually had images of a brain in the minutes of death and soon after. And from what they've seen, it looks like the common phrase "flash before my eyes" is exactly what happens as you go down. You got a memory dump.
I don't know. This seems like one of those things that's hard to check.
I don't know if that's true because when I read this article, the first thing that I did was rewatch that documentary from 1990 with Kiefer Sutherland.
Flatliners?
Flatliners, the documentary, yeah.
I went back a little further and watched one of our podcasts with Brainstorm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know that if Gordy had done this, I would feel a lot better about the information and the data gathered. But
Yeah.
that guy's-
Gordy, he did the work.
he's about the
Just saying.
science.
he did.
Yeah. Come on, baby.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen.
We
We
reached
did
the
it. We made it through like 10 days of random links.
Yeah.
All right. Let's say goodbye to Rob Roseboom
See ya.
and Chris DeBona.
Go Ukraine. Kick their ass if you can.
All right. I was Rob Commander Taco Malda. That was Geeks in Space. Maybe we'll see you Friday. Bye.
I don't like this. I don't like.